Brenda Wright. Can you hear me?
I do.
All right, perfect. Well, I am so happy to have Brenda Wright on the phone with us. If I'm not mistaken, I believe she is celebrating 15 years as being part of Youngevity. Is that right, Brenda?
Yep. In October, it's 16 years. So, yeah.
Wow. That's a long time. So I know you've spent a lot of time working with the essential oils. I know you worked with Alexandria Brighton, who actually formulated the original oils that we had with Youngevity. And one of the things I wanted to let our audience know is just a note of appreciation. For those of you who know a little bit about my story, Brenda has been one of my good friends who has been there as a friend. She's been there to help me with the oils and to give some really great advice. So thank you, Brenda, for doing that for me.
You're welcome.
So why don't we jump into the topic tonight, and let's talk about some of the newer essential oil blends, and maybe you want to tell us what they're for, how we use them, and I'm going to go ahead and let you choose which one you want to start with.
Well, because of my nature, we're going to go alphabetically.
Perfect.
This is funny because at the summit in Charlotte, we were supposed to introduce the 5 new blends. And something had happened, and they didn't show up, and we were like, okay, well, let's find out what else we're going to talk about. So it made an interesting summit, but we did have some things. And these were blends that were created to go along with a couple of them, to go along with the Transform Your Temple, and to go along with some specific things and some issues that have been going along with the company. So the first one that we can talk about is called All Heart. Guess what that was? It's for the heart. So it's really a fun one. It has basil, cypress, frankincense, some ginger, lavender, and marjoram, and then ylang-ylang. Those that know ylang-ylang know that it helps to keep the heart rhythm. Marjoram and basil are very good for relaxing the muscles and strengthening with the ginger and the frankincense. So they're very good for the circulatory system and for the muscular system because that's what the heart really is working for. And this was created to be a companion with the Transform Your Tempo heart and cardio. And then it's also for the cardio and brain health protocols. You know, the packs, we have all these packs that go along with it. We wanted to have a heart pack for the brain and heart pack. If you don't know what oil to use specifically, we did this so that you've got all heart. Now, there's a few things that you need to not worry about, but be just aware about with this one. Because it has the basil in it, you need to make sure that it is not used during pregnancy. Basil is a relaxing oil, and then it will help to relax muscle. So if you have a restricted muscle, like a Charlie horse or something like that, putting basil on it will relax that muscle. Well, if you put basil on when you're pregnant, it will relax the muscles, and you will have delivery within about 2 weeks. So do not use if there's any pregnancy involved. And on children under the age of 10, use a dilution with this. So put it with the grapeseed oil, either half and half. So actually about a teaspoon of grapeseed for a drop of the All Heart. There really would not be a lot of reason for them to be using this one unless it's the only one that you have. And if they have a leg cramp or something like that, if that's the only one you have, you could do it, but please make sure that you do dilute this one. The next one is called Balance of Life. We have Breath of Life, which is for the lungs and for breathing and for asthma and the respiratory system. Balance of Life, this one is for, again, the muscular, nervous system, the lymphatic and the digestive system. This is just to balance the systems of the body. Now, this one is a very amazing blend that was introduced. We didn't have a name for it at the time. It was introduced in Ontario in April this year. It has the pinyon pine, the juniper, and the great western sage. So it's a very fragrant blend. It does smell like the pines. It smell like the outdoors. It's really a good, strong one. I love it for the nervous system because it can be strengthening as it calms. But it's not to calm so that you can relax. It's just to calm you down to, shall we say, put your feet on the ground and, get you tied up with earth and feeling calm with the universe around you. It's really a great balancing one for that. It was created to go with the brain and heart pack, but mostly for the athletic pack, and then for the kidney support, because the sage and the juniper in there, they will help support and strengthen the kidneys, and also for the men reproductive system, it's very beneficial for them as well. Now, again, because of what's in there, the three kinds are very, very powerful. So they are definitely not for pregnant or nursing women. These are not for children under the age of 8. And because of the fact that these are times, that we say, always use it with a carrier because they can irritate. You put the three together and they can irritate. Even by themselves, they can irritate. So always use the grapeseed or the jojoba DM cream, Trinity lotion, the new Mia Bath and Body. That has got some amazing creams that should be coming online the first of next week, if not the week after. So I've been playing with them, and I love how the Mia Bath is going to work so well with our essential oils. So that's a very grounding one. Those have got to be there when they saw the artisan distiller come and show how he did this. That's the blend that he did, and it was just absolutely amazing. The next one is called Kidney Health. Very easy to tell what it was created for. It is, of course, for the kidneys, the urinary system, and the male reproductive system. We've got cypress, frankincense, geranium, juniper berry. Those of you that love juniper berry tea know that it's very good for the kidneys. Patchouli, some western red cedar. We've got some new oils in here that people have not been introduced yet. So that's a good reason to be, careful with a blend. You always want to be careful with them, but very, very good to have with them. Again, the urinary system. This was created to go with the Transform Your Temple kidney support. Leanne met with Jordan Rubin, and they talked it over and really worked on what they wanted to do and how they wanted to put them together to complement the amazing blend and the products that he has created with the Transform Your Temple. So other products that this is good to support with, of course, is the Super KB, which is your kidney bladder, Super KB. The Good Herbs has the kidney and bladder support. They also have the prostate health. This is where the reductive system in the men comes in with this blend. And then the Prohoba has the Prostat, and then it's the Ultimate Prostate X. So this is created for the urinary tract and men's, because prostate problems can really be a problem, and they don't have flow. So this is good to just rub in the lower area. But again, because we do have a cedar in there, you might want to make sure that you have a carrier with it, like the jojoba or the grapeseed. And again, not for pregnant or nursing women. So this one is fun to just kind of, you can mix it on topically, you can rub it on topically. But it's kind of fun to just inhale it. The last one, the breath balance of life in the kidney, because we have some of the cedars and the pines in them, this time of the year are really fun to just have misted in the air or even diffuse lightly. But you want to be careful with them because they can be thick. So you want to use not a nebulizing diffuser, but more of one of your water diffusers or something like that just, does the steam in the air. It's really a lot more fun.
Now, one of the questions that I had for you, and looking at these blends, the kidney health, for example, we've heard a lot about using the juniper berry for kidney support.
Uh-huh.
And what would be the reasons that I would choose the juniper over the kidney health? Is there a time and a place for those? Maybe one to be better than the other one?
Anytime you add one oil to another oil, you've increased the energy. And you've not necessarily increased the benefits of it, but you've added more energy to it. And if you are a person that is very sensitive, you have very sensitive systems, skin, something like this, stay with a single oil. Because the juniper berry, putting one drop in a little bit of honey and stir it into water, that works the fastest and the best for the urinary system. It does clear it right out and works very, very well. And supporting that with the Super KB to tighten up the kidney and the bladder. But if you add a blend, you cannot put that in a tea. So if you are somebody who doesn't, who likes to massage or mist it on, then that's fine. The more oils you have combined together, the more power you have. And some people, their systems are just too sensitive at first to go with a blend. But if you are someone who's taken a lot of the nutrition like you're supposed to, and I'm just talking like 2 to 3 weeks, even 3 months into starting nutrition, your system becomes stronger. And so you cannot put this in a tea. And that fastest way, because of the way the urinary system works, the fastest way to help it is through a tea. So that's where I would use a single instead of the of the blend.
The same thing would probably be true of the All Heart blend, maybe especially if you've got a really severe cardiovascular issue and you're very sensitive.
Yes, and I would then just go with the ylang-ylang and just make sure that I've got the rhythm to keep the balance of it. I wouldn't add, the basil because I don't know how my blood pressure is. If I possibly basil could lower it, and lemon definitely lowers the blood pressure. So, but yeah, to be aware of what they are. That's why we put the singles in the book first, so that you know what those work, and then you can see when you combine oils together for a single purpose, but they will also work on other things as well. So you also have to be aware of that. So the next one is one that everybody really was excited about. Now, in the book by Alexandria Brighton called Recipes from the Storeroom, we have on page 24, we had what we called the cellulite wrap protocol. We wanted to call it the fat buster, but people didn't think that was very nice. But, when you're a little overweight, you want to bust that fat right down. And that used the cypress and the lemongrass and the orange and the lemon and the grapefruit. And 10 drops of each of those, putting it into the plant-derived minerals, and then squishing through some, I like gauze or cheesecloth or something, and wrap myself up in that, and then wrap myself up in cellophane or, the saran wrap. And that would really do it. You could also mist it on after a shower with a mister with plant-derived minerals. And that did help with smoothing out the cellulite and getting rid of the bumps on the skin. But not necessarily got rid of weight. And people don't mind having the cellulite go, but if it doesn't include pounds, then people are not that excited about being wrapped up in saran wrap. So the reason for perfect fit is to help you achieve your perfect fit. That's how the name. So this is a fun one, and it does have a hot oil with it in the cinnamon bark. And the ginger is another warm one, grapefruit, lemon, spearmint, and rosemary. The reason for these is the way they help the body to break down fat, stored fat. So it's kind of a fun one. It helps clean the liver, good for the digestive, and good for weight loss. Now, how to use this one? We have a lot of people that say, well, can I do it internally? Can I do it internally? Can I do it internally? Essential oils were not necessarily created to be consumed internally unless they are safely in a carrier of a capsule with olive oil or with food or with some honey into a tea or something like this. But to just take it straight is not beneficial to the body, and it does destroy the stomach. So it must be taken with food at all times. So everyone, well, how do I do this? Now, what was practiced and what has been done and what has been being beneficial right now is to take a drop and put it just around, not inside necessarily, but around the belly button. And when I asked Leanne why the belly button, and she says, I don't know, but that's what she had heard from one of her teachers, and they were talking at that time just about a combination of the grapefruit and the rosemary. She said it worked really well. So why not? So her husband has been doing it and just putting it around the belly button morning and night, and it's working very, very well for him. Now, it can be done in a tea, but it's 1 drop per 1 quart. 1 drop of Perfect Fit to 1 quart of water. Now, if you want that Perfect Fit to stay in suspension in that water, you have to have just a little bit of honey or a stevia or something that you put the Perfect Fit, the 1 drop of Perfect Fit into before you stir it into the water, or constantly be shaking the water when you drink it. But you take a day. You take the full day to strip it down, and do not do this internally like this unless you are going to be home, because it is going to be pulling things through the urinary system, the digestive system. You're going to be going to the bathroom a lot. Let's just say it. It's going to pull. But people are reporting to be losing about a half a pound to a pound within a day to 3 days. So it's very gentle. It's very easily to the system, but you must drink a lot of water with it. And yes, you can, and better, take nutrition along with this. Anytime you're pulling stuff out, you have to have something positive going back in. So
do we
really
see people doing the ASAP program with Perfect Fit as well, or are the two best separately done?
Do you know what? It's a secret is that if you use them together, this does not add pounds, but it is kind of a secret weapon. If you don't consume it, if you just put it around the belly button, okay, it doesn't say anything about what you can put on the outside of your body, which is a sneaky way, possibly, to help with it. But it is going to help with it, because with the ASAP program, your body is working on a purpose, and you add the Perfect Fit to it with the same purpose. They are going to work together. So people that did the cellulite wrap, that's when we first brought out the ASAP, and before that we had the Slender FX. Those that did the cellulite wrap lost more pounds faster and safer than those that did not. Now, they unfortunately had not joined the contest because they didn't think it would work. But had they done the contest, they could have won easily. But it does help to pull this through because it breaks down the fat cells. So you definitely have to make sure you have a lot of water, and it works really, really well. But again, not for pregnant or the nursing, and dilute about 50-50 on children under 10. They necessarily don't need to lose weight. You use the nutrition, use the cherry mins, or use nutrition with energy for the children under the age of 10, more so than to use essential oils for this. You can, for a child, take a drop, or even just my favorite tool, people have heard this before, that toothpick, and take it just around inside the lid of the ginger, and then stir that into some water and have a child sip that. That will help to dilute and break down some fat as well. The lemon, you can do that as well. But with a child, I prefer, and I really encourage, that you use the singles far more than you use the blends, because the energy of the blends is not necessary for children. Their systems are not at the stage in their life that they need the power and the combination of a blend necessarily. So stick with a child on that one. And the last one, we have a lot of companies and a lot of countries that are coming in with Youngevity. You've heard that Russia has just opened. India is signing. I mean, there's some signatures, and there's a lot of things in a lot of countries coming in. And essential oils around the world is extremely powerful and used a lot. But the teaching of it has gotten lost, and people just pass things around and think you can do that and think you can, But they said, if you can come up with one of our favorite blends, then we'll talk to you. And so they were working on it. They brought Kent King in with it, and they were just trying to get these different things. And it came close, but wasn't good enough. Came close, but wasn't good enough. So what they finally found is they had to create two different blends and let them kind of together for about a week, and then add other oils to those two blends. So they have a blend, and extra singles to make another blend. It took 23 attempts to achieve what India wanted to replace their immune system oils that they had. And so there's a lot of really new, beautiful oils that are in this one. We have the Scotch pine in there. We have pine needle. We have lime. We haven't used that one before. We have nutmeg that we have not used before. We have copaiba, which we haven't used, and meadow foam, F-O-A-M, and corn mint. A few of them that we had not used before in very many of our blends because they are so specific in what they do. And some of these, and there's others, I didn't read them all, you combine like 3 or 4 of them together here and 3 or 4 together here, let them merge, and then add the rest of it. So it's very distinct and very careful on how they put this blend together. But it works on the immune system, as you can tell. Y23 immune. Extremely powerful. Now, this one is even more powerful than our first defense. So if I were putting this one on the bottom of my feet or missing it around me, it's more powerful than the first defense. But if it's not to replace the first defense, it's just another one that works for the immune system. Lymphatic system, it's going to be clearing. Muscular system and respiratory system, clearing them out. Clearing out. A lot of the time when you work the muscle, it creates, and I don't know the big word, but it can create a substance inside the muscle that is not good. And this will help to rub it out. So putting it with the CM cream. And we have Good Herbs has a respiratory and a circulatory. And I know we talk about the turbo creams a lot. And adding some of this to the CM cream and about 4 drops of the Y23 immune and a teaspoon of the circulatory or the respiratory or whatever you need, and putting that in if you've got respiratory issues going along. With winter coming, a lot of muscles get used with, that white stuff that's that 4-letter word that nobody really likes, unless you really like snow. But you need to have it, have them there and they're fun to do. So, but it was created to go with the athletic pack as well, because a lot of athletes really have a lot of issues with respiratory, muscular, and, and their immune system can get down. So it was really created to go with the athletic pack. So, a lot, because of what's in this one, there's some pine and stuff. With children, you can use it, but you need to dilute it. But it really is an amazing one to put on. All of these really smell amazing. I'm just been thrilled with the way they come out and the way they work. And there's supposed to be more. Yes, more blends. But we realize that we like to have them to be able to announce them at the next event, which will be at the summit in Anaheim in April. So there will be more, and there will be new packs and a few new things. So there's just a lot of fun things that we've got going on. And I heard somebody say they were from BC, in Canada. And Dr. Conaway and I have the privilege of being in Preston, BC, November 5th and 6th. So I will be teaching oils through the day from 8 till 4, I believe. And then Dr. Conaway will be talking on Thursday evening and Friday evening. So we're excited to be doing that. We love to come out and work with people. And then we're going to do the Jamboree the 12th through the 14th, so in Indianapolis, and we're just excited about that as well. So these are the 5 new blends that have just come out. And I'll tell you, the information that I just gave you is on the cards. We make sure that every oil that you get the card that's with it, and we put everything that we can on those cards so that you know what it's supposed to be used for. If there's a safety issue, it's all on those little cards.
Can you talk just a little bit more for us, Brenda, about how we might dilute that Y23 for children? I know a lot of times we talk about the To Be Well for children as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, the To Be Well is what I would use. If I'm using a child and have a child under the age of 10, the To Be Well is what I would use, because that was created for a child and for the children from 10 and under. And it's the same as the first defense, but it's only half of the power, half of the strength. So it's literally half of everything. Now, the Y23 immune is more powerful than the first defense because it has, number one, it has about 6 to 7 more oils than the first defense has. But it can still be used for children But to dilute, you want to use a lotion, an unscented lotion. The grapeseed is perfect because it is totally neutral, and so is the jojoba. So, and you just put a little bit in the palm of your hand, put a drop, one. Everybody needs to learn how to count to one. One drop into like a half a teaspoon of the grapeseed, and just kind of rub your hands together and then rub it over the area. If you don't know where to put it, then put it on the bottom of the feet, because every organ of the body is connected to the bottom of the feet. So you'll accidentally get the one you're working on, if it's your lungs, that's the fat pad underneath the toes. So you can do that, and you can. I would rub my hands together, rub it on the bottom of the feet, and then I would rub the chest and the back, because the lungs, if you're working on respiratory, is also in the back. You know, in your back, you can get through there to the lungs, through the back as well. So I would do that. And if I'm working on muscular, I would use a little bit of CM cream. Probably, again, half a teaspoon or less, one drop of the Y23 Immune, rub my hands together, and then rub it over the muscle. And people say, well, one drop can't do much. One drop does more than you can ever imagine. And adding more drops of essential oil doesn't give you a better benefit. It just wastes essential oils, because they can only do what they are prepared to do. They can't do more. So less oil actually achieves the purpose. More essential oil doesn't increase anything other than you've wasted oil. Does that help?
Wow. That is great information to know. Now, one other thing I noticed when I was on the website today is that we have these little round things that are sticky on one side that help with identifying oils. I know that's something we've been looking for a while. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, everyone wants the labels for the oils, and it's been really hard because you have oil in your hands, and when you go to take the lid off, they come off, and you put them in the bags, and they get stuck on the top, and they still do. So we have labels, and you can get them in your back office, and it's just, so if you go to essential oils, we have the essential oils in your back office, and like the first or second, third is all of the cards, $15, and you can get that. And there's your quick guide if you don't have the phone app. So you've got that. And as you scroll down to the bottom, it will say lids, bottle lids, and they're there now. Even with those, and they're very, very sticky, because Heritage Makers have an amazing source for these stickers. But they'll still come off, so get the clear polish and put it on very carefully. Don't let it run down the sides, because you don't want to stick the lid to the bottle. I already did that. Doesn't work. So just a little bit of that will help protect that. So when you put it in your bag, something like that, and it sweats or gets a little, rubbed around, the label will still stay on the top. Because when you put them in the wooden box that was shared around, it just might show up in April, wooden box showing up in April with Youngevity on the box. You need to have the labels on the top, because you don't want to sit and open them up and find them all. But make sure that you don't mix up the bottoms of the lids, because then you create a blend and you've ruined 2 bottles of oil. So, but yeah, the labels are going to be really, really fun, and they're not expensive. They're really not expensive. I actually have several sets, because I seem to have more than one of all of the oils.
I was impressed with the pricing as well. And with what you've told us, it sounds like just for the essential oils, everybody needs to be in California in April. Yeah, because I have just barely touched on the new things that are going to be introduced in Anaheim. Well, I am excited. And we are actually out of time, but I want to thank you for taking your time to share all this information. I know I took notes, and I learned a lot, as I'm sure other people did as well. And yes, this call is recorded. We get asked that every week, and I will be posting